Hello and welcome to this discussion of PPS's 2025 financial year results. It is great to sit down again with Isak Smith and Simpiwe Johnson after our conversation of last year. Isak is Group Chief Executive Officer and Simpiwe as Group Chief Financial Officer have had another eventful year. Isak, if I look back at 2025 and I look at the numbers, it's been an exceptional year. From your point of view, what stood out for you?
Yeah, thank you, Theo. Look, it was not an easy year to navigate. As always, there were headwinds and tailwinds. There were trade wars and real wars internationally and continued low growth locally. But on the tailwinds side, it included interest rates coming down and the lowering of the inflation target, I think, is something to mention. I think it is, in our view, quite positive for the country. But the biggest tailwind last year for us, Theo, was that despite all the global geopolitical news and all of that, the investment markets experienced another great year. The bull run continued for a third year in a row. And the South African market was one of the star performers globally, with the highest returns on the JSE in many, many years. Now, who could have predicted that at the start of 2025? Which shows that predicting market returns over the short term is almost impossible. So these market returns contributed to make it an exceptional year for us. It allowed us to return the most value in 1 year to our members in our history.
I want to talk about that a bit. I'm a PPS member and it's always exciting to see at year end what is the surplus and how will you manage that surplus? So talk to me about the surplus and where does it fit into the profits and the members?
Yeah, Theo. So actually we often talk about the profit share that we added to profit share accounts, but actually it's probably better to talk about the total value that we return to our members, and that comprises of 3 components. So the first is claim payments to members. Those members who are unfortunate to have a claims event, whether it's a loss of income due to sickness or a motor car accident or passing away. So that will always remain our first priority, paying valid claims, being there for our members when they need us most. The second component is the profit share that we pay to members who have left us, typically those who have exited their life cover phase. And then the third one is the additions to the profit share accounts of those who remain as members.
Isak, the profit share account, can you give us a recap on how it works and why is it so beneficial in terms of being a mutual?
Yeah, Theo. So certainly, yes, the profit share account is a core part of how we reward members who hold qualifying products. So every year, all the profits from the business, except a bit that we obviously have to hold back for regulatory solvency purposes, these are allocated to members' profit share accounts and invested on their behalf. So these allocations vest at retirement from age 60, upon death or other limited circumstances set out in the policy terms. So with all the additions to these accounts over the years and with investment growth, it accumulates and it builds a very strong balance sheet. And in fact, it is that compounding effect of investment returns, that growth over the years, that is the real true magic, almost the secret sauce if you want.
Okay, so let's now move towards what is that number? What's the amount?
Yeah. So Theo, the total value shared with our members in 2025 came to 13.55 billion, approximately 23% up on the previous year and by far the highest in our history. The previous record, by the way, was in 2021 when it came to 11 billion, just after the COVID investment market rebound and the huge COVID claims at the time. Now, the share of that number in 2025 that was due to additions to our members' profit share accounts was 6.88 billion. And that number was driven by 2 aspects. First, that investment profit, that growth we spoke about, 5.55 billion, which was materially ahead of the prior year's 3.6 billion and well above our expectations. And secondly, operational profit, 1.3 billion, and that is mainly insurance underwriting profit.
So let me get it right. 6.88 billion will be added to members' profit share account. Is that correct?
That's correct, Theo. Yes, the 6.88 billion is also about 29% more than 2024, the previous year's record 5.33 billion. But, and this is very important, Theo, a big portion of this is due to that investment market returns. Now, I'm sounding like a stuck gramophone now. It is the third year in a row that I have to say this, but it is important to highlight that the exceptional investment market performance cannot continue every year. We are grateful for years such as 2025. It was indeed a big year for us, but some years will not be as good. As we sit here, we already know markets were under pressure recently due to the war in Iran. But at the end of the day, it is the long-term performance over many years that matters. As you often say, Theo, it's time in the markets, it's not timing the markets.
So, Isak, I agree with you. There will be years when markets will provide the tailwind and will result in great exceptional payouts. But the point is, markets will not always give you that tailwind, and there will be years when the market will not assist you. So if you look at those profit share allocations, give us some idea of some of the significant numbers in some of the accounts.
Yeah, Theo, a statistic that you know we like to track is the number of members who have accumulated more than R1 million in their PPS profit share accounts. So we could this year add just short of 2,400 members to the so-called Millionaires Club, if you want, that over the years now count for more than 14,500. But something that you might find especially extraordinary is that this year we have members, a number of members who have added more than R1 million in 1 year, in only this year alone, to their accounts. There were 15 such members. And perhaps one final thing to mention about the profit share number, that number of 6.88 billion, is almost exactly equal to the 6.89 billion, which is the gross life risk premium revenue. So in other words, we have given all the premiums that we have received back to our members in profit share additions in total.
Now, Isak, that sounds great, but let's get to the details. In terms of the detail and unpacking the detail, one of the items that Isak noted was the claims. And actually, from my point of view as a PPS member, it's for me encouraging that there's big claims payout. It shows that you're delivering on your mandate. But let's unpack that. Can you give us the detail?
When we look at our entire business, long and short-term cover, PPS paid more than 25,000 valid claims in 2025. And that's around 27 million rand every single working day. It is again a record, the most that we have ever paid in 1 year to support our members. As a mutual business that exists only for the benefit of our members, we are proud about this support.
Well, that's actually great news from a member point of view, that you actually pay out, and that's why you are there. Any other elements in the life insurance business you would like to highlight?
Yes, Theo. New life risk annual premium income increased to 273 million rand. That's up 6.1% from the previous year. And our lapse rate remained very low at 4.6%, which shows that members continue to prioritize keeping their cover in place and enjoying that compound growth in their profit share accounts.
Now, life insurance is a big element of your business, but you've also diversified, you went into other areas, and they're actually performing. Can you talk a bit about that?
PPS Investments had a great year, a very strong year again. Our assets under management increased to just more than 112 billion rand, up 16% on the previous year. This business has been on a growth trajectory over the last 10 years, where it doubled in size every 5 years. In other words, it doubled in size and then redoubled again. Gross investment flows were 11.5 billion, an increase of 19% from the prior year. Profit before tax reached just more than 190 million rand, and the investor base expanded to over 70,000. But more than these overall numbers, we are very pleased about how the investment funds performed, with most in the first or second quartile in the performance ranking tables.
I think that's brilliant. And imagine that's a business that just more than a decade ago wasn't even there. Let's go to the short-term insurance business. How did that do?
The businesses on our short-term insurance license enjoyed a truly magnificent year and continued to grow in importance for our members. Total gross premiums were 517 million rand, up 23% on the previous year. They have now reached enough scale to be in a profit position in a normal claims year. And 2025 was better than a normal claims year. Due to the good weather and good underwriting, the claims ratio remained low and profit before tax came in at 85 million rand. Isak has always said in the past that there is something about professionals. They manage risk well. And over the years, we can see it in our claims experience. You want to be part of this risk pool. On the health professions indemnity side, we see good growth as more healthcare professionals choose PPS for tailored professional protection.
Simpiwe, any other numbers you'd like to highlight?
Yes, Theo. I can just mention that our healthcare administration business continues to grow. The number of medical aid members of the schemes we are responsible for increased by around 23% to more than 150,000 members. And our associate business in Australia continues to perform well. It now looks after almost 17,000 professionals in that country and was, for the third time in a row, voted as the best life insurance business by the independent brokers there.
Simpiwe, that was a great set of results. Thank you. Isak, well done. But let's look to the future. 2025, what does it hold and what is the journey that PPS is on?
Yeah, thank you, Theo. We had some exciting developments in 2025 that will support growth in future. The first is Glue, a new financial services brand in South Africa. For the first time in a number of years, non-graduate professionals in South Africa have access to a mutual business for many of their needs. As on the PPS side, Glue will also return profits to its members. And then due to our success in Australia, we expanded to New Zealand, across the ditch, as they say in that part of the world. We were granted a life license there and started writing business in August 2025. But as they say, that is not all. Perhaps the most exciting of all is a unique platform that we are currently building and that we plan to launch later this year. It is something like what we believe only a mutual like us can really do. And in essence, it will help people to live successful lives from a career and a financial and a personal growth and even a wellness perspective. But unfortunately, we need to keep things still under wraps a little longer. But the big reveal will happen in a few months. And trust me, this will be a game changer. So also, I think our people believe and appreciate mutuality.
Simpiwe, Isak, it's been a great year. And I think you and PPS can be proud of what you have achieved in 2025. And certainly your members can be proud of PPS. Isak, a message that you want to convey to the PPS members?
Yeah, thank you, Theo. To PPS members, thank you for the trust that you place in PPS. You know, Theo, at PPS, everything that we do is guided by the ethos of mutuality, and it's focused on supporting our members in their pursuing their financial goals. It's a privilege for us to walk alongside them in their career and, to achieve financial well-being.
Simpiwe, Isak, congratulations again. I think you guys did a great job. I think PPS had a wonderful year. And thank you very much for the time. It was well spent, and I really want to say, I think it's something to be proud of. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thank you, Theo.